can avoid, maybe medication, if we can do this to make people feel more relaxed, that's something we should look into. It feels so awkward, like licking an ear for like an hour. Like, it's just, that doesn't work for me. New ASMR channels I'm finding every day. So, I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
Did you beat Resident Evil Village? I had to ask. So hello, my name is Andre. This is DrePlayMedia, and in this special episode, I have Miss Shanny, or ASMR Shanny. She is one of the most popular ASMR artists on YouTube. You can find her channel at ASMR Shanny.
So creative.
Yeah. And thank you for being here. And yes, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to do ASMR videos?
Well, a little bit about myself as a background right now. I have 2 little kids. I have a 3-year-old son and a 1-year-old son. And I started ASMR because I had just had my first son, and I wanted a hobby because I was like at home. I was on leave for 12 weeks, and I was bored out of my mind because he was sleeping all the time. So what am I supposed to do? I went to school for communications or radio broadcasting. And I had found ASMR a few years before becoming pregnant, and it was amazing, and it helped me throughout my pregnancy. It's helped me with my anxiety. So I was like, you know what? I've done a little bit of acting in the past. I like the idea of helping people and using my broadcasting background. So I'm going to try it. And that is how I started.
That's awesome. Have you done any acting in movies or commercials?
I have, but that wasn't intentional. That just kind of fell into my lap. I live in Michigan, and for a second there was a booming movie thing going on where we were giving tax breaks and stuff, so people were coming and doing movies here. But I never really knew how to get into it. But then there was a radio audition thing, and I became one of the paid extras in a movie called High School. Capitalization on the HIGH part, because it's a bunch of people get stoned. But it was a really cool movie. It had Adrian Brody in it and Michael Chiklis and stuff like that. So that was the only real movie I've ever been in. But I did a lot of acting in high school and stuff. So
awesome. That's an interesting background.
Yeah.
And as a content creator, was ASMR your primary area of interest, or were there other creative ideas in mind for, say, the YouTube platform?
That's a good question, because I've actually wanted to create a YouTube channel for years. But I never really knew what to do. I love gaming, and so I thought about doing that, but then was a little apprehensive. And then I am a cosmetologist as well. I literally have changed my major and my employment so many times. And I thought about doing a makeup channel, but that's kind of hard to get your foot in the door. And then ASMR just kind of fell into my lap because I just thought it would be really fun. It was the one that seemed the most fun. So that's kind of why I settled on that.
You mentioned that you're a gamer. Any particular genre you like?
So I like all genres really, but if you were to follow my Twitch or my gaming channel, my subscribers are obsessed with me being scared because I scream a lot, and it's I can't help it. So I do a lot of horror gaming now, unintentionally, but a lot of horror gaming. So.
And we're gonna get to that in a second. So we've seen you play character roles such as Cruella de Vil and Lady Dimitrescu. How much time does it take to research and study a character's mannerisms before preparing a video?
So much. That is such a good question, because people don't realize this, because there's actually a lot of characters that I've done that people don't know that I've never seen the movie, or I've never played the video game, because I spent days just buried in the internet of articles about this character. The Boys. I did The Boys. I don't know if you know that show, but I did a role play based off that, and I've never seen the show. So it takes it depends on it. If I'm interested in the game or the movie, not that much, because I already know a lot about it. But if I've never seen it and I just know it's going to be a popular video or character, it can take me a couple days of just reading articles so I can figure out what I'm supposed to do.
That's awesome. And did you beat Resident Evil Village? I had to ask.
I finally did. So I know we're only on like part 14 of on like my gaming channel, but it's because my editors thought it was a good idea to like break it up into 30-minute intervals. But I did on my 24-hour stream. It wasn't even planned to play the game. We just needed something to do. And I sat down and was like, well, I'll play it for an hour. I'm exhausted. I'm ready to fall asleep. It's 3 a.m. And we ended up just cruising through like the last like 5 hours of it and beat it. And I cried my eyes out on stream and I was exhausted. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, don't look at me.
I am still stuck in that. I'm stuck in the castle. I'm so far behind. But
Okay, but the castle was a really good part to be stuck in because it's like that's a really fun part of the game.
mhm.
So
And I'm sorry, what do you think makes ASMR unique as a method of relaxation?
you know what, I think it's unique because it's a way that someone can give you like personal attention without actually being there, and it can just make you feel so comforted and like just so listened to, even though it's just like someone through a screen and they're not actually there with you. And like you can go as like broad as you want. You can just listen to triggers if that's what you're into, or you're not feeling like following a story or something. But then you can jump into something that's like fantasy related and just get completely absorbed in the story while also getting that like tingly feeling from different like rustling noises and stuff. So I just like how broad it is and how there's something for like every mood or every person. And I just really enjoy it.
And do fans give you like requests like to do like a different type of ASMR that you're not familiar with and you tried it but it
All the
didn't
time.
yeah.
All the time. So you get requests all the time, and I try to tell people like I have a running list on like my phone of like requests because I don't want anyone to think that I'm not like listening to their requests. But sometimes there's just things that just like don't vibe with like your channel specifically. Like I know a lot of people like mouth sounds. Like I can do that on Twitch, that's fine, but like to do a whole video of that, unless I'm like mixing it into something, is just like I can't find. It feels so awkward like licking an ear for like an hour. Like it's just that doesn't work for me. And then like different role plays, like people have asked me to do different characters, and I'm like, I don't know how, at least in this moment right now, how I would make that into something. But I
Mhm.
try to get to all of them eventually. I have things on there from like 3 years ago that people have requested. I'm like, I will get to it when I figure it out.
I saw
So,
recently you did a collab video with forgive me, I don't remember her name off the bat, but you were Starfire from
oh,
Teen Titans.
GB,
Yes,
GB,
yes.
yeah, yeah,
And
GB. I was gonna say,
oh,
yeah,
I'm
she
sorry.
did
Yeah,
Raven. No, no, she did Raven. Yeah, you're right.
you guys did great, and your character impression of Starfire was like spot on. Like I was like, oh my gosh, she sounds just like her.
You
That was
made my
amazing.
you made my whole day because that was my first like big collab with like a big channel. And
Hmm.
I had practiced that voice because I'm not really good with impressions. I practiced that voice for like 2 days straight, just like not stop, like nonstop using that voice all day until I could do it. And you still, because she's like a bigger channel, you still get comments here and there of like people who are like, oh, who's that? That's not GB, blah 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 blah. So I was like so self-conscious, but like thank you for that. That just made my whole day.
You're welcome. And what is the most challenging part about conceptualizing ASMR content?
Definitely trying to make sure you're including ASMR. Like it's while it's fun to role play like what I do, the whole point of it is to make sure people are getting tingles and relaxing. So it's to not lose the fact that it's an ASMR video and that I have to be doing something that's, ASMR related and not just acting out a scene. So that's definitely the hardest part. Like what triggers am I going to put into this video?
Hmm.
So
And what is it like collaborating with other ASMR talent?
it is so fun. I know that the collaborations don't get as many views as like your own video on your channel, but it's so fun to like just sit down with someone who's like into that stuff too and talk about it and bounce off ideas and be like, we could make this so cool if we did blank, or no one's done this. So I don't know. I really enjoy the collaborations a lot.
That's awesome. And in your opinion, what led to the popularity of ASMR?
Well, what started to lead to it was when like it started to blow up in like the media, and like people were making like the Super Bowl commercial, or like they had like the celebrities do ASMR. And I know a lot of them, forgive me, I always say this word wrong, the mukbang. Is that how you say it? The
Is it
mukbang channel?
mukbang? Yeah.
Yeah, I used to say mukbang, and then I got scolded by like the ASMR community. So I think it's mukbang, but I don't know. But I know that that got it really big because people were eating, and they're like, why are these people eating in front of the camera? But I think what kept it going and why it's still getting bigger is, like I said, the idea of like personal attention, and just someone being there for you that doesn't actually have to like, be there in the room with you to make you feel comforted. And I think that's why it's still growing even after all of that.
And do you think that since the pandemic happened, that also like caused a surge with your fan base?
I do, because it was already doing, like most channels were like okay because of it growing slowly. But when COVID hit and no one could leave their house, I feel like ASMR really came in clutch, because now you had someone who it felt like was there with you, comforting you, just making you feel better, and like you're not alone. A lot of us rallied together and made like videos where we're taking care of you, or we're quarantined with you, or like COVID related videos. So like we all felt like we were in it together, and I feel like that did help kind of grow it a little bit more.
And where do you see ASMR like going? Like, do you see evolving into something even bigger?
I do like channels like Atlas ASMR, which, funny story about him, I found him back when he was like a really small channel, and he was only reading stories, like children's stories or stuff, like on camera. And now he's like making like these huge cinematic like role play movies, like they're like 2 hours long. I feel like it's gonna keep growing, and people are gonna just keep getting like more and more like Atlas did with like these huge like movies. I know people have talked about making like an ASMR movie where it's still a movie, but like there's stuff going on the whole time to keep you like tingling and relaxing. So I think it's just going to keep growing. There's more and more new ASMR channels I'm finding every day. So, I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
It's so funny that you mentioned movies because I was just thinking, like, before our interview, I said, what if they made an ASMR? Because I'm a big horror movie buff. And I was like, what if they made an ASMR movie that's like a horror themed one? Like, you know how there's Unfriended and stuff? Like, they should do something different like that. I
Have you
want somebody to
seen
steal my idea.
have you seen my video yet on my channel?
No,
It's
no.
a really old video, so not a lot of people know it, so don't worry. But I'm really into horror movies too, as you know. And I did it's basically like a movie, but it's a little bit shorter length, like I think it's 30 minutes in total. But it's called Chain Letter, and it's a choose your own adventure. And it's a horror based thing. And I started off doing like ASMR in the video without telling anyone it was a choose your own adventure at first. So they thought it was like a normal video. And then you like follow me out of the room, and like I get it like a chain letter, and I delete it, and then all this like crazy stuff starts happening, and you have to choose your way through the videos to get to the end
Oh
and where
my
I don't
God.
die. Yeah, so I really like that. That was probably my favorite thing I ever did. But
That's so cool. That kind of reminds me of like, is it like that game Until Dawn? Like you pick something and it
yes.
has like a butterfly effect.
Yes, it's like I had a butterfly effect. So like if you went this way, something bad would happen, or if you went this way, something good would happen. So yeah.
That's so cool. And do you think that ASMR should be taken more seriously? Like, say, like with in the field of psychology, for instance, do you think like they should look into that as a way to treat people who have stress, anxiety, or do you think that there's still a ways to go?
No, absolutely. I think they should definitely look into it. I know ASMR Glow, she went, her university or her college she went to, her professor actually started a huge like movement for that. And they actually have, I think it's called Psychology Network or ASMR Psychology Network. I can send you the link later, but they like started a huge like GoFundMe. They're doing a bunch of research on it because you get comments all the time. I get comments ever since I started like my first video of people who have like PTSD or like anxiety or depression, or anything else that's affecting them on their day to day, and they're like, I've tried medications, I've tried talking to people, but really what it comes down to is your ASMR videos or this person's ASMR videos help me relax at night, and they just distract me for like that, like during my anxiety attack they've distracted me and they've brought me out of it. And it gives people a relaxing euphoric feeling, and I just feel like that is something that should be studied. If we can avoid, maybe medication, if we can do this to make people feel more relaxed, that's something we should look into for sure.
Absolutely, for for sure. And is there anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Oh, all the time. I love you guys so much. Honestly, when I first made my channel, I didn't consider that I could do horror ASMR. Like, that's so cool that it's been able to blossom into that. I didn't think I'd be here. I remember when I started, I was like, oh, I'll just be happy if I get 100. And then, like, in a month, I had 1,000, and I was like, what? So, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because again, I couldn't be doing this full time or be talking to my amazing new friend here in an interview if it wasn't for all of you.
And I think I speak for your fans. We do appreciate the content that you put out, the effort that you put into it, and no amount of melatonin could help me relax like your channel. So thank you so
You're
much.
so sweet. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, and thank you for this interview. And this has been DrePlayMedia with ASMR Shanny. Catch you later.